Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for being with us today, as always. We're very much blessed. We have one of our own, His Grace Tribhvanath Prabhu, who will be speaking to us today. Well, to some of us who may not know Tribhvanath that very much, he's been a devotee for quite a long time. And I'm a bit jealous of him because he's had the opportunity to be in India, serving on the dam, serving the deities directly. And recently he moved back to Africa. And when he did move back to Africa, probably, if I may allow to be guessing here, but he had so much mercy from their lordships that he is able to reach out to lots of people in terms of book distribution, and lots of the time he's reached out intellectuals, students. I understand due to his preaching, there were like 400 or so students who visited the temple once or twice in Ghana. So we can't thank him enough, and we're very much thankful and appreciative to have his association with us today. So with that being said, Tribhvanath Prabhu,
yes, Prabhu.
You're welcome to your own home, Hare Krishna, Africa. And if you're ready, we may put the verse on the screen and then you take it over from here. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm grateful for inviting me here. I want to thank the organizer, the management of making this program, for that's been a long time, right from the Corona era, and there's still sustainability of this program. So I have a big gratitude for this program. Thank you all, the organizer. So we move further now.
All right, so we have the verse on the screen. Thank you.
Sharvana Heta Bhavandida Bhukta Bhaya Bhava Kama Loka Vida Vishwan Vigyan Sattantva Sarvante Heta Bhavandida Bhukta Bhaya Bhava Kama Loka Vida Vishwan Vigyan Sattantva Sarvan, all and everything. He said to me, it is this, Bhavan, your goals is something, but all that is created or born, or via all that has been created, or all that is being created. Prabhu, you, the master of everything. Karamalaka, Karamalaka. One not within your great Vishwan, the universe. Vigyan as a thing within, scientifically, throughout years. Translation. My dear Father, all this is known to you scientifically because I'm seeing this. Just this. Okay, my dear translation, my dear father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe, is within your grip, just like a walnut. Srila Prabhupada spoke about. Brahman is the direct creator of the manifested universe, and everything within the universe is therefore known. What happens in the past, what will happen in the future, and what is happening at the present. Three principal items, namely the living being, the phenomenal world, and the controller, are all known, are all in continuous action, past, present, and future. And the direct manager is supposed to know everything of such actions and reactions. As one knows about not within the grip of one's palm. The direct manufacturer of a particular thing is supposed to know how he learned the art of manufacturing, where he got the ingredients, how he set it up, and how the products in the manufacturing process are being turned out. Because Brahman is the first-born living being, naturally, he is supposed to know everything about creative function. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Umajnana timiranda sanjanana shila. Chakshu aminitam yena tasmai Shri Gurudev Namah. Sri Chaitanya Namo Vishnu Swapitami. Swayarupa Kadamaya Vanchakaparubhya cha Kripasmaya cha Patitana Vaishnavyo. Hare Krishna. So, Vishwananta Chakrabarti has a short commentary on this particular text. I quickly read his commentary on this text. He said, you know everything. You know three things: Parahatma, Jiva Atma, and the material universe. Because you are the master of all entities, born in the past, of all born in the future, and all existing now. You know Avyatma, Avyat. You know Avyaktam, which with detailed knowledge, yeah, this universe, like an Amaliki in your hands, almost the same, or different. They specify three things there, which are the Jiva Atma, the Parahatma, and the universe. But you can revise that purport. We see what Srila Prabhupada placed Parahatma to be. What's Prabhupada translating his purpose. Revise the purport again. Brahma is the direct creator. Go ahead. Okay. The manifested universe and everything within the universe. He therefore knows what happens in the past, what will happen in the future, and what is happening at the present. Three principal items, namely living being, phenomenal words, and controller. So Parahatma here, Srila Prabhupada referred to it as controller. Yes, because it's within, it sees everything. So, yeah, devotee, Hare Krishna. We have interesting topic to share if you thoughts on it, which the title is Saga, Primary Creation. But before I drag the class further, it is within 45 minutes or so. I want to see the devotees who are on the platform. We have Anandinanada Das, we have Ganga Das, Guji, we have Kavi Kanapura, Wa, Loka, Mitra, Sati Devi, Shima Varaha, Suniti, Tamal Krishna Das, Raj Tunil Das is something. So I actually thank you all for coming, and you all has made me to be here, and I want to share a few thoughts on this particular sloka. Please give me your kind and benevolent blessings that I should be able to do this justice for myself and for you all. So what we have here is very, very important. Why is it important? Narada Muni is asking this question. This is our process. First of all, here, then you preach. But fortunately, these days we have a lot of people. They want to preach or they want to speak without first of all, hearing. So Narada Muni is asking this question so that he will be able to reverse the same message that he has had for the first created being, Brahmaji. So in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned three things which are very essential. Parahatma, the Jiva Atma, and the cosmic universe, the material world. And in one of the sloka of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that actually a devotee who has a good understanding of these things is actually a candidate of Bhakti Yoga. Why? Because in the material world, 90 or 95%, they all identify themselves with the body. I'm this body, I'm this body. Even in the place where you think that people are supposed to be more, informed, you find that this concept of bodily is very high. Right. So we are Bhakti Yogas. We have so much in our hands to do, especially when it comes to informing others about these three basic principles of life or phenomena, which are the Parahatma. The Parahatma is always there within us. It sees how we do both the morning, the afternoon, the night. But fortunately, it never interferes. It never interferes. Whether we are right, we're wrong, it never interferes. And we see that one of the Upanishads give a very bright information about this aspect of God within us. He said there are two birds in the tree, and one of the birds is struggling so hard, intensely hard with the fruits of the tree. And the other bird, which is the best friend, is just watching. So the bird who is struggling with the field, signifies the Jivalatma, strongly with the senses, the object of the senses. But the best friend is just watching. When will this, my friend, just come back and be free from all this entanglement and anxiety and frustration? So the process of Bhakti Yoga is all designed, to help us get out of this stronghold mentality, to help us get free from this agitation of the material world. There's so much agitation these days. Everywhere you sight your eyes, you put your ears, everywhere. It's so much fun with agitation. So the process of Bhakti Yoga helps us to direct our attention in such a way that 24 hours a day, we don't forget Krishna. And one of the basic truths that help us on this matter is the chanting of the holy name. The chanting of the holy name. We start with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But unfortunately, this chanting in itself is supposed to be our primary, our primary aim or our primary strength that will enhance us to actually be situated, even when we are still, doing all we need to do, but get free or be free from the agitation and the anxiety of this material world, but we don't have so much interest for it. We don't have so much likeness for it. I see, in the morning, people struggle so hard just to see that they chant a few numbers of front. But after that morning hours, you see the mantra is being kept somewhere. That is one lifetime is being maintained in the morning, another lifetime is maintained in the afternoon, another different lifetime is maintained in the night. So how can we get a taste of chanting the holy name? So the chanting of the holy name, it deserves 100% attention, but we may say, but if I give 100% attention, how can I accommodate other things that I need to live in this world? Yes, our Acharya says that we should live a life in such a way that we don't forget Krishna, and that entails that we should plan. We should plan, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned so interestingly, the importance of manager. That every manager knows the intuitive, the secret of his manufacturer. Yes, it is true. A manager also has their quality. A good manager has, a dynamic planning. A good manager has a dynamic organization. A good manager has, has an intelligent coordinator, and a good manager knows how to control and cooperate. So if we are managers of our life, just like I was saying a few days ago, we are teaching management course. First of all, we have to teach ourselves how to manage our life before we teach others how to manage our organization or how to manage our life. Because one of the things that require us to learn how to manage our life is that if our life is being managed, automatically the basic importance of Maha Mantra will always be in our lips. Will always be in our lips. There's a saying in Vrindavan that devotees sometimes they are very absorbed. Therefore, you don't know who is praying and who is playing. In the morning, you see a devotee, he's chanting. When you happen to meet that devotee, again, he's still chanting. Whether he's chanting, whether he's playing, you cannot really tell. But here, what we are talking about here, if we have a good plan, certainly we will have time, crucial time. So crucial time to give to this Maha Mantra, which is the only remedy for this Kali Yuga. And this is what we actually need. We need this mantra because it's our only remedy that will liberate us, from these shackles of material world. I've been in Vrindavan for such a long time, and I have seen that the mantra is the beginning and is the end. Recently, we see Kandava Kana Swami Maharaj. He's an Acharya of Harinam. He lived by it and he gave it out like that. At the point of his departure, the same mantra was being chanted. So what does it signify? So many Mahajans have seen passing away. entering into Samadhi. There is nothing that we give to them than the Maha Mantra, or we recite before them, signifying that the Maha Mantra is very, very important. And if we don't take it serious, then there is a problem. The problem is that just like Nanda Moni is asking, so we won't have that kind of understanding to ask basic questions for our own benefit. Because the Maha Mantra creates that, it creates a kind of revolution for the heart. What is the revolution I talk about? He makes the heart free for the seed of bhakti to grow. And where the seed of bhakti grows, automatically humility falls in. And when there is humility, there is submissive attitude for learning, submissive attitudes for inquiring. Just be seeing what Narada Muni is doing now, because that is actually, just like Bhagavad Gita said, Tabidi Paripati now, you know, submissive attitude is good, because we want to share this information to others. We want to share this theology of Vedic through to others. But how can we do this if we don't have sufficient knowledge? Therefore, sufficient knowledge is very, very important. I remember 2 days ago, I was speaking with a final year student of Ayurvedic medicine, Ayurvedic medical doctors, about 65 or 70 students. So I've raised the question, general Ayurveda is a branch of Atharva Veda, and it's actually spiritual, but fortunately, the teachers of that faith, they extract the spirituality out of it and place the material aspect of it, and that is what they teach in order for them to get resources and to, you know, carry on the institution. So I was asking them a basic question. So they're all dynamic students, intellectual students. I asked them, what are the basic consequence or cause of disease? You will be shocked that if we have 65 and 70 students, about 20 to 25 students, they have given different causes of disease. But most of their emphasis of disease is habits. Habit of smoking, habit of drinking, habit of that, habit of this, which was fine. So I asked them, and you are the person who is to provide remedy, provide solution for all those things? They said yes. I asked, okay, wonderful. What about if you yourself is having this same problem? How do we balance the situation? Then there was silence in the class. Complete silence in the class. So our process is not to speak one thing and act the opposite. Our process is to speak what we hear. And this is what we are benefiting from Narada Muni questions. Is asking questions because in the future, he's also going to reverse the thing. And to keep this question and answer in mind, we need to follow up the process of bhakti very critically, especially the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I will pause for a short time, and I want to hear, you know, little feedback before we give a little summary like that.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Tribhvanath Prabhu. Your audio was not quite clear. I don't know if the mic was too close to your lips. Okay. And I think I did send you a message. Maybe you were focused on speaking, so maybe you haven't seen it yet. But Yeah, your audio was not quite clear, but we could hear you though, so that's good. Devotees, if anyone has something to share as far as what our dear brother has said so far, please, you may unmute and go ahead and speak. Tribhvanath Prabhu,
Yes.
if I may ask you this, maybe you just have to elaborate on what you were saying. You were saying something very, very important that as devotees, we should try to speak what we hear, which is so true. But my question is, what is so important about speaking what we hear? And if that is just at the end of it, I come from a Christian background.
Good.
And in the Christian Bible, it is said that God, by word, just by his word, he says, let there be light, and light manifests.
Good.
Let there be this, and it happens.
Yeah.
I'm not in the position of speaking to making something happen. I have to physically do something for that thing to manifest. So my question then is, how much do we benefit if we speak what we hear, and that is the end of it, without doing what we hear and what we speak?
Adi Prabhu, thank you for this question. You see, when we speak what we hear, we don't only benefit ourselves, we also benefit others. Why? Because what we hear that we speak, it carries the strength of Guru Parampara. Recently, I was, looking at one article that somebody have written, suggesting what they call insurance. Krishna is our only insurance. So I look at it more, from different sides of view. I've been Vrindavan for long. I never see somebody talking about that thing. And I see there is no even room in Guru Parampara. Which of the Acharya we can mention that have stayed sustained? Or which of the, I don't see which of the Acharya have provided that kind of thing. Which of the temple is upholding that kind of, stuff? I don't know. Because when we talk, when we speak from what we hear, what we speak, it creates a kind of a regulation to those who would hear it. Those who hear it will benefit, and we who speak it will get benefit also. I will tell you one story which is very, very important. Narada Muni has this is from Mahabharata. So the Pandava, they have one wife, which is Draupadi. So Duryodhana has made several plans. So one of the plans that he thought would create devastation among the brothers was to use their wife against them. Prabhu, my voice is clear?
Yeah, we can hear you. Not very clear as it could be, but we can understand what you're saying. So it's good enough. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. So he has envisaged this kind of plan to create a devastation among the brothers through their wives. So Narada Muni was aware of this plan. Because then they don't have a kind of a niti, a principle that once will be having association with his wife. So Narada Muni, when he heard about this, when he heard about Duryodhana's plan, so it appears to Yudhishthira and explains that now it is time that you also have a niti, a principle, that when one brother is Draupadi, the others would will be in holiday. Anyone who is in Dopadi, the other one will be in holiday. So Yudhishthira take this to heart. Before he gave this information to Yudhishthira, he have given a story why this niti is important. He mentioned two brothers. These two brothers were actually great demons. So, but their demon mentality was not really for themselves. They have so much love among themselves. The love they have is so strong that nobody can actually break the love they have for themselves. So now that money side example that what create embargo on these two demons was a Apsara called Prema Lukshan. So this demon becomes so terrible that the whole devas be all troubled. What to do? So they have cried to Brahma. Brahma, please help us. These devas, these demons, they are creating a lot of problem, a lot of havoc. We don't get time to do yagya. We don't have time to do anything. You create a lot of problem. So Brahma has called this prema lotion Apsaras. And this prema lotion actually when he involved in their means. This was the end of their union. Their union was disorganized. So this is one thing that we can actually take note of. When we speak from the sources, from what we hear, that has a lot of benefits, a lot of benefits, and also the person that has this, we want to find out where is this person speaking from, and that also we can show. Oh, we're speaking from Bhagavad Gita, we're speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, and these are all Krishna's, whereas Krishna's dealer. So the person gets enriched, the person gets satisfied, and the person also wants to know more. So there are more benefits we can, we can speak about concerning, speaking what we hear. It's very, very important in our community. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you so much for the answer. Anyone else with any question, comment? Please, you may do so. Shri Tribhvanath, I know that in the scriptures, certain objects are used as references, and they all the time mean something. And I'm just wondering why Narada Muni, as well as Srila Prabhupada, both using walnut. That's like having walnut within the grape of one's palm. Just like Lord Chaitanya will say, a moment of disassociation from the Lord feels like 12 years or more. Lord Chaitanya could have used any other number, but he specifically used 12. So I believe that it signifies something. So I don't know if the walnut signifies something much deeper than just reading that it's walnut.
Yeah, it signifies actually some, whatever enters or whatever is in Sima Bhagavatam, they all signifies tremendous things, things that we actually, give us more light, give us more understanding on a particular verse. One is very small, different translation we have, but on the context we have here, it's trying to let us know that though we might see this world so gigantic from our own perspective, but it is like a walnut, very small in the hand of Brahma. Why? Because Brahma has been there in the past, has been there in the present, in the future is also there. So not only that, and in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada entered inside that walnut, by giving example of a manager. Whatever a manager, whatever an industry creates or produce or manufacture, they all know the look and corner of that particular object. For instance, now people may some industry or some manufacturing company, they might design some particular car or particular vehicles that the buyer may get confused. They don't even know what to do, even though the manual is there, they don't even know what to do. But the managers of that car, the designer and the manufacturer of that car, they know both in and out because it is their work. This is what they have been doing. This is what they have been assembling for many years. So the same apply. There is nothing there is nothing that is difficult for somebody who has been there for such a long time. And that was why Arjuna asked Krishna, you are telling me that you have been in existence, you were speaking this knowledge to Vibhashwan. But Vibhashwan has been in existence before you. How can I believe this thing? Then Krishna says, many lifetimes I've come here. I can remember all these things, but you cannot. Therefore, because I can remember, I'm repeating it again. What I have said earlier on, the same thing I'm still repeating to you. So it's all left for you to articulate and implement it. So the same thing we are still having today, and the same thing we are still being given by the gurus, by the acharyas, by the devotees. It's for us to articulate it and implement it and try to see how we can give, this same message. Just take a dynamic look. His Holiness Kavichandra Swami is in West Africa. The situation there is really not it's really not something encouraging, but then he's there. Why is it there? To encourage and to revive the consciousness of bhakti. What is expected for us? It's not big talk. It's a simple thing. Let us go outside. Let us chant. Let us take prasad. This is what we are known for. This is what we have been doing. And this will help us grow in our movement. And also, I will also want to appeal to my brothers and sisters who are out there that it is time for us to actually come together and see what we can really do in this aspect of West Africa, especially either in the preaching aspect or in the temple. We should not just tailor our mind, our heart towards one particular region. Let our resources, circulate around. And this is actually what we need now. Okay, I remember, when I was coming for 6 months, I have requested, Maharaj knows, His Holiness Kavichandra Swami knows this thing, and he have written on the platform that we should assist Tribhvanath with vehicle. But nobody ever come up with these things. There's a devotee in Nigeria who have more than 6, 7 cars. I request this guy, you borrow me one. Borrow me one just to stroll around, meet with all this. The guy is giving his car to politician, and he says it's a devotee. Our only business, if we are devotee, is to see how we push this movement forward. And that is where we get influence from. That is where we get nourishment from. Every other thing will come if we first of all put Krishna in the front. But we don't want to put Krishna in the front and we say we are not happy. How can we be happy? There will not be fulfillment, there will not be happiness if we don't put Krishna in the front. Putting Krishna in the front means that we are not relegating the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Somehow along the other, I was able to manage, as Srila Prabhupada talks in the purport, we were able to manage somehow. We get a vehicle. Whatever we have done for the 6 months was the help of a vehicle that somebody give for only. I was having access to that vehicle for 4 hours, and within that 4 hours, I was able to tap different university. So we need assistance from you all. And it is the duty of the Grihasta to see that it's a reciprocation. That when the Grihasta, try to shower their medicine, and the same thing they get times 2. And their medicine is their resources. Whatever resources they try to give little to see that the preaching of Mahaprabhu does not stop, does not derail, and that is their benefit. And this is our request. We should try. We should not just tailor our mind towards one region. Let whatever we have, circulate, especially when it comes to the preaching or to the mission of Mahaprabhu, which the Prabhupada have upholded so nicely. So let us be an exemplary Grihastas, an exemplary devotee who has in mind how to assist this mission of Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, His Grace Tribhvanath Prabhu. It seems we have His Grace Shimavara Prabhu stand up. Prabhuji, please give me unmute.
Sorry, it's by mistake. Huh? I'm sorry, I'm driving.
Okay. All right. Thank you then. All right. Thank you, Tribhvanath Prabhu. And devotees, if anyone has something to share, you may do so.
And also you can contribute, you can add your view, you can add your comments, you can add your contribution. It's not only open for questions. Whatever you have that you want to add, the room is open for you to add. I have my distinguished friend there, Ganga Prasad, and so many other wonderful devotees there. Kavi Kanapura, my eminent brother is there. So I see mother, I see father. So you have a room. Mama, Papa is there. Shima Varaha is there. My old friend, I see all of them here. So you can, please be free to add your contribution. We'll be glad. So before we draw this summary, actually I was almost, canceling this class because I was not very well. But somehow I said, Kusha will not be happy. I said, let me try to say whatever I could.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for making it and sharing your love and heart with us today. Well, it seems everybody is fully satisfied. Ganga Prasad has his hand up. Ganga Prasad, probably please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Bujavasi, Mona Prabhu, Dandava Pranam. I feel very happy in high spirits to behold you today. Even though I'm not seeing your picture, the video seems to be withdrawn. I have you in my mind since yesterday. I went to see Kalipandra Maharaj yesterday. So he gave me some assignments that I needed to speak with you about, but that we can do outside the class. And I tried to call you before now. Somehow, maybe we are not disposed. I appreciate the way you presented this class and you open up for inputs. The one very unique thing that I have taken from this class that I want to amplify is when you said that Narad Muni is setting what our institution is like. You must find out, and when you find out, you represent exactly what your findings are for the benefit of others. That's a very, very powerful postulation because you cannot give what you don't have.
Absolutely.
And Narad Muni is a big role model in our institution because it plays pivotal role in keeping the standards or the process of bhakti always in place. And if we learn this, that is the lesson to learn. You quoted also Tadvidi Pranipati now, which is Krishna's own direct instruction. If you want to know, you have to find out. Because if you don't find out and you are in position to speak, then you will either gesticulate or speculate. But Narad Muni does not want us to do that. He wants us to be quotable quotas. We quote what is quotable. So I appreciate the way you mentioned this, and I appreciate the fact that it is coming from an Acharya Tribhvanath. I will only beg, please keep your line open so that I can make that inquiry from you after the class that Kavichandra Maharaj wants me to attend to. Please, huh?
All right.
Thank you. And, very elated, even though I did not know when you sneaked out. I only got to know you came to me on Sunday and 2 days after you were gone. Keep up the spirit of the good work. We are very proud of you.
Bravo, you see one thing, Sanjaya was very expert, He thought that he knows the heart of this Tirastra. But at the end of the day, he said they cheated him.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you, Prabhu. I'm happy you look so healthy and strong also.
Blessings.
Thank you. Krishna's blessing, Prabhu.
Keep up the spirit of the good work. Thank you very much. We are proud of you.
So, some other contribution is there, Shriman Varaha Prabhu. For a long time, I've not heard from Sunita Devi Dasi. Bless me with your kind words. Let me hear from you, let you, of how it has been with you over there for many years. Sati, Devi Dasi, my old friends, Hari Chakra Prabhu, Yashoda Devi. So I want to hear, let you speak to your son, speak to your friend. Let us hear some little comment, how it has been, how is your bhakti going, how is your nam going also, before we draw the summary of this class. So, Mitra, we have Kavika, we have, yes, Prabhuji, Govindaji Prabhu, all glories to you. Govindaji Prabhu is always driving. He's always driving. Please give us your ways of wisdom.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
All glories to you.
All glories to Gurudev, glories to
Jai Shri
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
All glories to your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, Prabhu. I have a question concerning repeating what Acharyas have already said.
Yes,
that is
Prabhu.
true. You will never make mistake if you repeat what the great souls have come into conclusion. You repeat the same right we are still right because you are repeating from the right source.
Yes.
Now, if you are to repeat what have said scriptures, then does that mean that the super soul in us has nothing to deliver again? If you are to repeat, if you are to repeat the same thing, Krishna has unlimited knowledge, and the super soul is seated in the heart. And does that mean that the super soul has nothing to say apart from what the acharyas have already said?
Thank you, Prabhu. That is a good question. The super soul, when it's being realized within us, it walks in a consonance with our soul. He walks in harmony with our soul. Actually, he actually guides us not to make mistakes.
Just $25 a month.
Okay, there was a noise. So when the super soul is realized, he walks, in consonance with whatever we are saying. So that is why, all our activities is hard to get this awakening of the super soul. Self-realization actually means understanding there is a fragment aspect of God within you. And when this is actually realized, some voice is there. Hare Krishna. So when this is realized, we don't make mistake and we don't speak out of points. Why is it that we don't make mistake, we don't speak out of points? Because the super soul work in harmony with the individual soul. Therefore, what we say, what we speak become unique, become a heart revolutionary. Okay, for instance, I will cite example for you. So what's his name? Prahlad Maharaj was speaking the philosophy of what he had to his schoolmates, which are demonic children. So at one point, they saw that the philosophy the boy was speaking was so unique, and it's actually creating a kind of purification in their hearts. So they asked, how many did you get this kind of knowledge? We all know that we stay together in this palace. In this palace, we don't go anywhere. We don't have any audience from outside. How then do you get this knowledge that you are giving to us? So Prahlad Maharaj began to speak. That time that my mom ran into trouble because of the atrocity of my father, but somehow Narada Muni was able to rescue him. And when Narada Muni rescued him, at one point he began to speak the philosophy, but my mother was not very keen. Since I was in the stomach, everything that Narada Muni was speaking, I was hearing it. So the same thing Narada Muni has taught or speak when I was in the stomach, the same thing I'm also reversing to you all. That is why this philosophy or this knowledge is important, and it's making this kind of purity in your hearts. So this is what it means to hear and speak. It has a lot of impact. And it's not that the Parahatma is not involved. But when the Parahatma is involved, he guides our speech. He guides our thoughts. But if it's not, that is the whole process is to come to this level actually, to understand that there is one God within us. Because if this God is not being realized, oftentimes what we do is, satisfying this body. Satisfying this body creates a scenario where we don't understand ourselves and we don't understand the God within us also. And when we don't understand ourselves, then how then do we speak about the philosophy? Because the whole philosophy begins from, first of all, understanding who you are. Understand yourself as a spirit soul. Understand yourself that there's a fragment aspect of God within you. And whatever you do, whatever you say, this fragment aspect of God is seeing everything, but he never interferes until we turn our face to him, then he's ready to guide. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Prabhuji is speaking, but the voice is not heardable.
I'm sorry, Prabhu. I'm saying that whatever explanation you have given is right, but at the same time, I think I will need more explanation to this question. You see, the super soul is unlimited. The super soul is Krishna.
Yeah.
Krishna unlimited knowledge.
Yes.
And this knowledge can always be given by Krishna, even though the acharyas have never and still give new knowledge. For instance, there are so many stories, so many past. So if the super soul is to give new knowledge, that is not from. Is that not possible for a super soul to do that? And you know, if any question is asked, then we refer to what the acharyas have given. Okay. So does that mean the new things are not happening and the super soul is not revealing those new things?
Okay. All right, good. Sadev Prabhu, I'm very sure you are understanding what Prabhuji is saying, and I want you to reverse it to me so that I can give a cogent response to it. Because to me here is breaking up and down, so I'm not able to follow up. If you're able to follow up, please do justice to this.
Okay, thank you, Tribhvanath Prabhu. So what Prabhuji is asking is, yes, he agrees with you that we have to repeat what the previous acharyas have said. But if we just repeat what the previous acharyas have said, and that is it, wouldn't that mean that the super soul within us as individuals have nothing more to reveal on what the previous acharya has said or have said? Because he is with the understanding that Krishna is unlimited, his pastimes, even though maybe just one, but has many aspects to that pastime. So parts of the pastimes may be revealed to another devotee. So that is his question. That the bottom line is he believes that since the Supreme Lord is unlimited, his pastimes are also unlimited. So even though a previous acharya might have said something about a pastime, there may be other angles to the pastime that could also be shared.
Thank you. It's a good question. Now I get it more clear. But who is the super soul? The super soul is Krishna. And what do we speak? We speak about Krishna. But when we have knowledge of the super soul, that is when we have that realization of the super soul, then our speaking become more enhanced. Why do we say the guru is the aspect of the super soul who has come to instruct us what to do? So when we follow the guru, indirectly, what do? We are in connection with the super soul, right? So Krishna being the super soul and what we speak is not different from who is there in us, because we speak about Krishna and the super soul is to direct us, guide us, that we speak the right thing according to his pleasure. In other words, when we are actually having this knowledge, realization of the super soul, then we speak, for the pleasure of the super soul. And to crown it up, he guides us in such a way that whoever hears what we speak, he gets purification. Just like I remember some years ago, we were saying, who actually makes the disciples? It's not those who are preaching. The guru makes the disciples. Why does the guru make it? Because he has the Shakti. It's not different from Krishna. So these are the things we should know. The super soul is not different from the guru. He has manifested to guide us. And the super soul inside is to guide. So just a matter of realizing it, realizing him. If we don't realize him, then we might not speak in such a way that it will have potency, because we may speak from the bodily concept of of life or views. But if we have more sense of the super soul, our words, our thoughts will be guided when we speak. This is a very important topic Prabhuji has brought up. I'm sure this little tip will help him. The super soul plays vital role, because it's not different from Krishna, and whatever we are speaking is about his glorification. But to speak more, that what we speak will have more impact in people, there's a need for us to follow the process which the Acharya have designed, which is sadhana bhakti. With the help of sadhana bhakti, we actually come to know our relationship with this personality. And once you, just like you have a father and you don't know your relationship with him, so how can you describe your father? So when you have a good relationship with your father, then you can actually describe all the good quality, all the amazing aspects of your father. So, but to achieve that, we need sadhana bhakti. We need practice, sadhana. We need practice. And one of the key point that help us, in this practice is the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram.
Ram, Hare.
So another thing to place in mind, it's very simple for us to understand this, but sometimes it looks so difficult. If we don't follow the spiritual master, so it is difficult to understand how the super soul is assisting us, because the spiritual master is exemplification of the super soul. If we are following the spiritual master according to his instruction, according to his expectation, automatically we'll be getting a glimpse of how the super soul is guiding, protecting, and directing us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, thank you very much. To say, Prabhu, I'll ask a question. In the question pardon to the question Sade Prabhu asked.
Yeah.
You see, if all we need here on this our planet is what has been given to us by four-headed Lord Brahma, for us to make progress, to become completely purified and return back to Godhead, that is what is given to us by Lord Brahma. That is understood.
Okay.
But going beyond that, to the point of the Lord in the heart, who is unlimited and he has unlimited knowledge. Talking of the gurus, yes, we understand we have to surrender to our gurus. We have to listen to our gurus. We know the guru is the external manifestation of the super soul. But the gurus also repeat what the same acharyas have given. So that is my wonder. Is it because if they tell us anything different, we cannot understand? And that's why they have to repeat the same thing that is given in the Bhagavatams and other Puranas? I believe the other universes where they have more than four-headed Brahma, the scriptures are also given, they will speak something different. So if they can speak something different, then it's the same Krishna speaking there. And the same Krishna also seated in our heart right here. So then why can't we also speak something different? So that is a question, but I will take your explanation for now. Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhu, your question is very nice. But you should also know that this question, it involves, one's been so much involved on the process of bhakti. That is really having time, giving bhakti time. As Sashananda Maharaj said, is giving back the time makes you, it reveals when you give back the time, many things will be revealed to you. So these things we are mentioned, there is no difference. Yeah. You know, these three things we mentioned, there's no difference. They're all in one. The whole idea is to guide the individual soul towards the ultimate aim, going back home. But if one is realized, you know, and the other one is maybe, for instance, if we have some knowledge about there's an example I wanted to, you know, narrate. There's an example I wanted to cite, which I think it will be very useful for this question you've asked. But in a nutshell, if the example does not come to my mind, in a nutshell, I would say that the super soul, it plays a lot of role, but we can see more of this role if we have more, you know, more bhakti. And to have more bhakti means that we are very connected to what is expected from the Guru. Because through the mercy of the Guru, we can understand the personality within. And when this is understood, then our life is successful. Because the super soul is not different, it's Krishna himself, which is all pervading. So whatever we say is still the same Krishna which is within us, but it only helps us that that which we say, it has a lot of impact in the heart of the hearer. So this is the process we have, the process of purification. It's a process of purification. And this process is not taking one and leaving the other. They have to go together. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much to Tribhvanath Prabhu for the answers, and Shri Govinda Prabhuji, thank you for the questions. And I actually had a question in this same regard as Govinda asked, because, excuse me, I listened to a lecture by His Holiness Bhakti Vaibhava Swami Maharaj on this same chapter. So, devotees, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to share that briefly.
Please share.
Hear what he said. So, you see Srimad Bhagavatam text 253. That's the same text we are discussing. And this is His Holiness Bhakti Vaibhava Swami Maharaj. And I've moved the cursor to where I want to make my inference.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sometimes I feel after reading Srila Prabhupada's purport to just chant Hare Krishna. Everything is clear. But Srila Prabhupada wanted us to share our own realizations. And one thing I was thinking about, that especially in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find the word creation and creator so many times.
So I would like to stop there, because Maharaj was saying that sometimes when he reads Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport, he feels like there is nothing more else to be said because everything is clearly explained.
Yeah.
So you should end there. But then he continued that, but that is not what Srila Prabhupada expected us to do. Srila Prabhupada also expected us to share our own realization. I mean, it's very important we're talking about the super soul. But the super soul does not nullify the Jiva Atma's individuality. We as individual Jivas should also be able to express ourselves based on our realizations on the super soul. And that is why we speak. scriptures. Otherwise, if it is just a matter of reading the text and reading the purport, anybody can do that in his own little quarters. But that, as much as wonderful as it is not enough until the voters come together and they share their experiences and realizations from what the text is saying. And when they applied it, the realizations and the feeling they got from applying what is in the scriptures, they share, and that is where the effect comes from. If we just read and tell people what's in the scriptures, it has effect. But the effect is not as much as we sharing our own realizations based on the application of what we find in the scriptures. So I believe that it is a fact that we have to repeat what the previous acharyas have said, but it does not limit what we are repeating to just what is being said. We also share our realization. And that is why we come together to listen to Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Otherwise, anybody can just sit in his own little quarters, read translations, purports, and that is it. But that is not enough. Like Maharaj was saying, Srila Prabhupada wanted us to share our own realizations of the scriptures that we are reading also. So that is just what I wanted to share. I see Her Grace Mother Shri Upanishad hand up. Please, you may unmute Mother Shri Upanishad.
Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Thank you so much.
Dandavats to all you wonderful, wonderful Vaishnavas. You know what? That's very wonderful that you posted that remark that you just quoted. And I'm going to share a realization that I had about that. When I'm reading the purports, and when I think about sharing my realization, I think what happens is that you want to make sure that your realization agrees with what Srila Prabhupada says. It's like your false ego interferes with it, right? You don't want to express it, but if you're sharing a realization, it doesn't really matter if it's right or wrong. So I think that if we can just get over that, about the I, you just want to share the realization that you got out of the purport, out of the text. So thank you for bringing that up. That'll help make other people devotees want to participate more and be able to share. So Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mother Shri Upanishad. As always, thank you. Her Grace, Mitravinda Devi, please, you may unmute. Mitravinda Devi, are you there? All right, while we wait for Mother Mitravinda to unmute, we'll go to His Grace Ganga Prasad Prabhu, please. Okay, all right. So we go to His Grace Ganga Prasad Prabhu. Please unmute. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
This is what Sadhu Sangha means, like churning an ocean of nectar. The more you churn, the sweeter it becomes. And the two sides of discussions are relevant to our theology and the practice. Prabhupada, in the first purport of Bhagavad Gita, had admonished something that we must heed. He said one must read Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly in the association of a devotee without personally motivated interpretation. Like somebody mentioned now, the I factor. We may sometimes have realizations that are assumptions, but it has to complement with what the acharyas have said to help us be able to communicate it. The how we communicate it is what will help us to be able to convey the same message of the Acharya, and the guidance of the Super Soul in the heart, so that the essence will be communicated. Example is given in Bhagavatam 1.3.44, where Sutta Goswami was mentioning that when Sukadev Goswami spoke to Parikshit, I was there, I heard him with rapt attention. And he used one word, by his mercy, mercy. I will now present exactly what I heard from him and how I have realized it. So it's not that Sukadev Goswami was speaking word for word. He had a method or an approach of navigation through which he communicated the same factor onto the audience. This is part of where our own angle of understanding comes in that we can share. And my last point is that in purpose of Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, text 7, Prabhupada had mentioned that he speaks about religion as can be understood by the particular people under their particular circumstance. So even the Lord in the heart that guides us, as I give knowledge, remembrance, he guides us according to how we can understand. He will not give us overdose. So, but in all, there must be a tally, a reconciliation between what the Lord is in the heart is confirming of what you are reading. A good example is in the Brahmana who was reading Bhagavad Gita upside down and was crying because he's an illiterate. And they were making mockery of him. But he had a realization. The realization was, it's not that he can read, but he was seeing that Krishna was serving Arjuna. And he was amazed. Krishna, who is God, is serving Arjuna. How come? And he was crying. And then the people are mocking him that, oh, it's because he cannot read, that's why he's crying. But when Mahaprabhu came in, Mahaprabhu said, oh, you are the one who have realized the Bhagavad Gita. This is how the Super Soul confirms what we are thinking inside for us, and he reconciles what the acharyas are postulating. So we should not be too emphatic about our own realization because there can be hallucination also. It's just like now in Nigeria, there are many prophets or pastors who are prophesying. They are saying, God said this, God said this, God said this, especially with the political situation in Nigeria now. And most of those prophecies failed. Does it mean that God has become a liar? But their I factor, they are putting their own inside it, and it digresses people. So there must be a reconciliation of what the acharyas are saying, how we're understanding it based on how the Super Soul in the heart helps us to understand it, and the Super Soul also gives us the know-how how to present the same thing to our audience. Then it becomes very, very potent. This is what I want to share, so that it will not be like we have bifurcated out, but we are churning, and it's becoming sweeter as we are sharing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhupada. Very, very.
I want to add a little to that. You see, Sahadev Go, when Vidura was chastised by Duryodhana, was asked the son of a Sudra to come to this meeting, Thursday out here. Because Vidura is an ideal bhakta of the Lord. When he was living, he said two things. He said, he see how Krishna's Maya, is paving way for Duryodhana. That is, Duryodhana is going towards his destruction by Krishna's Maya. And he also said the second thing. He said he also realized, he also see how the Super Soul have actually helped him, to resolve, the situation within himself. So this question that Prabhuji has raised is an important question, but at the same time, it's a question that actually enhances us to be more fixed, more sadhana conscious, especially the chanting of the Maha Mantra. Because one, this mantra is there, one, we are not negligent, we are not offensive, automatically this this connection within the super soul of Jiva will be revealed, which signifies, the guru in its, physical aspect. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, His Grace Tribhvanath Prabhu. Madam Mitravinda, are you able to speak now? You may unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you so much again for this wonderful platform. My question similarly piggybacks off of what Prabhu said and what Mother Isapani said, and it regards realizations being a necessary aspect of learning, as well as the consideration must be given. This is what I've heard. The consideration must be given in regards to what someone is reflecting upon. You know what I mean? If someone perhaps is new to Krishna consciousness, they may have their own realizations and reflections on what is read in accordance with like cerebral aspects of what they hear. You know what I mean? They may not have full realizations in regards to the Shastras as a devotee yet. However, they could have, for example, they could have realizations according to the situation. For example, if they're a grihasta or a parent, and there was a verse that was read regarding the parental ras, they may have some realizations like that. But what should we do in settings where we are either leading a platform as you are, Sahaprabhu, or if we are facilitating, in order to not have the room be run away with in terms of someone's realizations that may not be reflecting in a way that's beneficial for everyone?
Well, thank you. It's what, sorry.
Sadhu Prabhu, you had a question? Is it a question or something? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Sadhu Prabhu, you had a question, Mataji have raised.
Sorry, Hare Krishna.
You had a question?
No, I was sorry. I was just going to say that what Mother Mitravinda said is like a combination of comment and a question also. So I don't know if you have something to say in regards to what she shared.
Well, to put it in a nutshell, Hare Krishna, I'm sorry. To put it in a nutshell,
okay.
how do we keep people from running away with the room, with their realizations? If they're not in accordance, as Prabhu Ganga Prasad said, how do we keep them from running away with the room if they're sharing their realizations and reflections, and it's not in accordance with what was read in a particular way? There's ways to reflect that relate to our experiences, and then there's other ways to have realizations. How do we do that in a way that honors Shastra education and just openness? How do we do that, please?
Okay. Sadhu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please.
That's a question for you.
Yes, it's a question, but I had not comprehended.
Okay. I'm going to try to repeat what she said. She's saying that we do not want people to run away with the room. In other words, if a devotee has a personal realization based on scriptures,
yes,
and we say that only what the acharyas have said have to be repeated and nothing else, then it means that whatever realization an individual devotee might have had, we can no more, sorry, let me do this. We can no more discuss or share his or her own realizations anymore. If that happens, do we help that individual or what?
Prabhu, I'd like to share one picture. It may look gross, but can you give me that?
Right.
I'd like to share a picture.
I'll do that right away.
Yeah, here's a short picture. I think I have it here. That we can have some little understanding of this thing.
All right, you have the rights now.
All right, let me check for the picture. Right. It's a very it's an educative picture, but it has some little. I don't know if it's here.
I wanted to also preface that, you know, there are different ways of giving class that are being featured now, where, for example, new devotees and seasoned devotees and those who have just walked in are sitting in a room in a circle with Bhagavad Gita or even Srimad Bhagavatam. I've seen this. And each person reads, and then each person gives a reflection. So that's what my question relates to, you know, realizations and reflections being given by everyone.
Mataji, your question is nice. I got your question very, very comprehensive. But I want to show a picture which will give you more light. But unfortunately, I'm not getting the picture, but I can explain. You see, in a race match, you know, one is on the race and the other one is ahead. So the one on the race have to catch up with the other one so that he can give the pole so he can continue. But the point here, if the one on the race or the one who is to grab the pole, they are not being trained, you know, how is it possible they will achieve the aim? So this can be possible if there is training. And that training means that we are conscious of what we do. And the process of which we are following is called International Society for Krishna Consciousness, a process where we have to be conscious of Krishna. And when we are conscious of Krishna, there is not like somebody running away with the room. Because automatically, when you eat something that is nourishing, that is so blissful, that is so enjoyable, you want to tell somebody else about what you're eating, how you really actually nourish you. And not only that, you almost cut your tongue with your teeth because of the taste. So the same thing applies. When we actually have this knowledge coming from Param, there's not like somebody running away or not being able to share, not sharing. The desire is always there to share. It will always be there to share. It's only when we don't have it in food. And just like somebody says on the platform, you cannot give what you don't have. When you have, there's always a desire to give. Except even miser don't have. If a really wealthy person, there's always a desire to give. Except when you don't have. When you don't have, somebody might be telling you it's a miser. It's a miser because you don't have. When you have, you want to give. Especially when it comes to spiritual parts or spiritual knowledge. You have seen what will benefit. Like for me, from my own perspective, if I look many years, so many years ago, the kind of life I have lived and the life I am living now, I'm so much grateful to this path. Day and night, I'm grateful to the path because I see the path have triggered my life. They have kept me in a direction that has hope. And it's just only me to stick to it, stick to the path. And that is the benefit. Not, there is more to say sticking to this path. There is fulfillment, and one who is able to stick to the path to the end. That is immortality. Your fame and name will never end if it's that we desire. So the only thing that requires us all is the ability to stick to this path. Because this path is so sweet that, everything that is sweet, it also has the opposites. It has thorn, it has broken bottle, here and there, here and there. But one who is able to surpass this other aspect, is me, Krishna Bhakta. And this is what we see in the life of Krishna and his followers. Even though they were with Krishna, in Krishna book we see all these things. Even though his cowherd boys they were with him, see so many different demons attack here and there. Even sometimes they were all poisoned. Why? But they were with Krishna. They were still facing this kind of situation. So if this can happen in their age, what about now? So if we are practicing bhakti, what we actually need is the ability to stick to the path. Not seeing the other side of it, the broken bottle will always come on our way. But the ability to say, no, Krishna, I want you, and I want you to help me in this Maha Mantra of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. It does not leave my tongue. This is your success. And when this mantra does not leave your tongue, believe me, the desire to also give this mantra to somebody, it will also come to your heart. That is the heart of a devotee. A devotee means somebody who sees the suffering of others. He laments for the suffering of others and he wants to do something about it. Please be that a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Tribhvanath Prabhu. His Grace Ganga Prasad Prabhu, please give me a minute. Ganga Prasad, yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
You can hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, I wouldn't know if this adds up, but I just think this triad can help us digest what we are speaking about. If scripture is truth, and our realization has to do with how we heard from Guru and our realization, and when it goes out, it causes transformation. So three T's: truth, tradition, and transformation. So whatever our realization of the scripture is and how we had it from Guru, when we dispense of it to others, it will impart in their life and there will be a transformation. There will be a change of the same person. Just like Prabhu Tribhvanath is mentioning now that considering his life before and his life now, there's a very wide range of change that he's experiencing and is grateful. And somewhere in the sixth canto, Prabhupada said, every devotee must remember always what they were before they came to this movement and what they are now. And they must do everything possible not to go back to their previous life. So truth, tradition includes Guru presentation, realization. It must transform somebody's life. I don't know if this adds up, but this is just what I want to add. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. It does add up. Yes, it does add up. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for like Ganga Prasad Prabhu said, shining the pot of the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today is Tuesday. This very past Sunday, which is 2 days ago, there was a Sangha wherein His Grace Brahma Tirtha Prabhu spoke, and he spoke on our platform on Friday. And again, I met him on this platform on Sunday. So he was making a reference to His Holiness Baptista Swami Maharaj, my Gurudev. And he was talking about sometimes the way he dressed, because the way he dressed sometimes was not exactly the way we know our traditional gurus, sannyasis dressed. And so lots of his god brothers, I should say, were very much unappreciative of it. And so that led me to sharing a verse. And what's the name? His Grace Tribhvanath Prabhu, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to share a verse. Or if you would like, if you want to say something about what you're sharing, you may do that before I share what I wanted to share.
No. I was just trying to find out. I've not been able to find it out. But you can continue with your.
Okay. Then okay, you may. All right, let's do this. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 54. You see, when His Holiness Baptista Swami Maharaj was preaching in West Africa specifically, in those days, I don't know how things are now. I believe things are much better, things are much improved. Obviously, it should. But during those days, devotional service was quite new and appeared strange, as it still does to lots of people today. Even after being with people for all these years, people still see devotees strange. And so there were lots of psychic attacks on Baptista Swami Maharaj. And he had a Lord Nrsimhadev cane. And people, oftentimes, when they dare attempt to attack him psychically, they were attacked back by this Nrsimhadev cane. So it was a protection for him. Now, some devotees who did not understand what was going on the ground attacked him. And they asked him to rescind carrying the cane. And he did. He was attacked by his dress code. Today, I see some gurus dress the same code. But Sri Prabhupada says something very interesting in this particular text. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 54. We should all try to read this, digest it, and assimilate it, and then we get the understanding. This is the third paragraph. The method of worship, chanting the mantra and preparing the forms of the Lord, is not stereotyped. We have to listen very carefully, and the text is there. We may individually go back to reread it to understand it much better and deeper. 4:854. If you are not very type of person who like to read, just go to the third paragraph. The method of worship, but better read it all. The method of worship, chanting the mantra and preparing the forms of the Lord, is not stereotyped, nor is it exactly the same everywhere. It is specifically mentioned in this verse that one should take consideration of the time, place, and available conveniences our Krishna consciousness movement is going on throughout the entire world, and we also install deities and different centers. Sometimes our Indian friends, puffed up with concocted notions, criticize this has not been done, that has not been done. But they forget this instruction of Narada Muni to one of the greatest Vaishnavas, Dhruva Maharaj. One has to consider the particular time, country, and conveniences. What is convenient in India may not be convenient in the Western countries. Those who are not actually in the line of acharyas or who personally have no knowledge of how to act in the role of acharya unnecessarily criticize the activities of the ISKCON movement in countries outside of India. The fact is that such critics cannot do anything personally to spread Krishna consciousness. If someone does go and preach, taking all risks and allowing all considerations for time and place, it might be that there are changes in the manner of worship, but that is not at all faulty according to Shastra. Srimad Vira Raghav Acharya, an Acharya in the disciplic succession of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, has remarked in his commentary that chandalas or conditioned souls who are born in lower than Shudra families can also be initiated according to circumstances. The formalities may be slightly changed here and there to make them Vaishnavas. I made reference to this verse and particularly this purport in the sense that we cannot, as practicing and preaching movement, follow exactly what is in the scriptures under all circumstances. It's not possible. A point to address this is, I'm originally from Ghana. In Accra, the capital, there is a period, the whole 1 month, where the owners of the land, who are traditionalists, say that for that 1 month, their gods, whom we understand to be little gods, lesser gods, they are at rest. They do not want noise. So nobody plays any drum. And for us as devotees, we know when we are worshiping, we know what accompanies what. So we play mridanga, we play karatals. But can we say that because that is what our scriptures say, we're going to follow that, even when the owners of the land say we cannot use such things? And so in Ghana, as I speak, and I believe it's still observed, during that period, devotees do not play mridanga, devotees only play karatals, clap their hands. And if somebody comes to the temple and finds that and considers that devotees are erring, that is untrue. It is time, place, and the situation. So what I'm trying to say is that as living entities, we are expected to realize what we are being told in the scriptures. And there is nothing wrong, like Ganga Prasad Prabhu was saying, in sharing our realizations and experiences if they are in conformity with what the scriptures are saying. Therefore, like Mata Shri Upanishad and Mitravinda is saying, we should not be afraid to share our realizations and understanding amongst devotees, or even to non-devotees, because that is how, like Tribhvanath Prabhu is saying, if he looks back and finds himself in that past and where he is now, he's very happy. And we all can attest to that. So when we're preaching, we can use ourselves, even though we say I and mine are very dangerous, but at the same time, there is a positive aspect to them that we can use ourselves to tell people who we used to be before and who we are today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. So Do we draw the summary now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I thank everyone who has contributed. Only I have not heard from this mother for a long time, but I was expecting she would say something. What is her name? Loka is there. What is her name? Maybe Sunita. Okay, Sunita Devi. Sunita Devi, how are you? Long time. What is your contribution? Hare Krishna. Shuma Varaha, what is your dynamic contribution? Shuma Varaha is there. Before we draw the curtain, I want to hear for these dynamic personalities. Shima Varaha, what is your contribution?
Probably, I hope you may be at the temple now. If you are, if you could kindly unmute and say something before we bring this to a close.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Actually, I'm busy with cremation and I'm listening to the Bhagavatam. So, but anyway, I've just finished my part there. Yes, very nice discussion. Thank you, Tribhvanath Prabhu, for the wonderful discussions and all the questions asked. There is a verse which is escaping me. It's in, I think, 4th canto, when Sutta Goswami was describing the qualities of Prithu Maharaj. He was describing how he expressed his realization on the absolute truth. His words are limpid, and etc. In that verse, now I cannot, because of where I am, and I cannot search for it and see my, I'm not in the motive. But in that verse, it did mention that that he expressed his realization without adding any, without changing the theme, but he had his own personal realization. That's it. Later on, I will share the verse, but here I'm a little bit, in a tight corner. So just to add to the point that the scripture, in fact, I was happy when Sahadi Prabhu played that Bhakti Bhaiva, whatever Maharaj's lecture, yeah, because I was going to say the same thing, that our personal realizations are allowed when we're speaking on the scripture. We have to speak, but of course, it should not differ from the theme. It should not digress. It should corroborate rather. So anyway, there's been a lot being said on that, and excuse me if I maybe again take you back. It's because that was the part I was listening very closely before I started doing the cremation ceremony. All right. So thank you, Tribhvanath Prabhu, especially for asking me to say something. We hope to see you more on the platform.
Yes. I'm happy to hear that. We want to see him more. Despite his busy preaching, at least once a month will be for us.
Sahadi Prabhu, the picture that is on my Sahadi Prabhu, the picture that is on my wall, is this visible for everyone?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So I want to see if I share one picture so that the devotee can actually see the areas where I was going, so that we can see something which I was trying to talk about. I think this is a little bit we draw a summary for today's class.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, I want to. Yeah, I'm on it now. Yeah, it will be easier for me like this now. So, as I'm about to get this, I still want to request Suniti Devi to bless me with her kind words. I have not heard her words for a long time. She used to come to festival before, but she's not coming anymore. I don't know what is happening. Suniti Devi, everything okay?
Are you sure you're referring to that particular devotee, this is Sunita though. Sunita, Govinda Prabhu's revered wife.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I know Govinda Prabhu's wife, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I know her now.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yeah. For a long time, I have not heard from her.
Okay.
So, Sunita Devi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hey, Dandavat Pranam. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to you. You just keep silent. So tell me, how is your bhakti going?
I'm okay with the lecture. It's so nice. I'm busy. Yes, but I'm listening. I'm enjoying it.
Wow,
thank you so
much. My God. Yeah,
thank
good
you.
to hear from you after a long time. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to hear from you. Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your talk. Yeah, getting together fish now. I don't know, maybe the picture doesn't want me to show.
Tribhvanath Prabhu, if you wouldn't mind, we have one of our big sisters hand up, if you would like.
Okay. Yes,
listen.
please.
Yeah.
Please.
Please, yes.
Hare Krishna, all I wanted to say was that just put a smile on my face. I was grinning when he asked Mataji. That was just so sweet. So Haribol, Mataji, Haribol.
Yeah, thank you. That is actually Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to put smile in our face and make our heart more soft for the Maha Mantra to say it. So that is why people call Srimad Bhagavatam or refer Srimad Bhagavatam to blood tonic. And the function of blood tonic is to revive, to boost in our blood. So Srimad Bhagavatam stand that chance, to boosting our strength of bhakti.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Tribhvanath Prabhu, for making this class very, very interactive. And at this point, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sorry, before you.
Okay, yes.
Before you say that, I'm sorry. I said I couldn't find, but let me give a summary. Can you please reverse the purpose of this particular sloka we did on today? So
Okay.
I take summary from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will. Okay, so it's back on the screen.
Yes, I'm seeing.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, thank you. Okay. So in the summary for today, I want to take from the last paragraph, which Prabhupada said, the direct manufacturer of a particular thing is supposed to know how he learned the art of manufacturing, where he got the ingredients and how he set up, and how the product in the manufacturing process are being turned out. Hare Krishna. There is a last point I want to make here. One student has gone to meet a guru for initiation, and the guru have asked the student, which gotra are you from? The disciple said, I do not know the gotra I'm from. So it's okay. You go and find out from your mother, which gotra are you from? And the disciple honestly go back to meet the mother and ask, oh mother, I want to take initiation for Gautam Rishi. When he asked me which gotra do I belong, but I could not testify the gotra I belong. the mother said, yes, actually, I really don't know the Gotra you belong because I was just dancing like Charger. I was just dancing here and there. So I could not really know the Gotra you belong. So what is the point here? The point here is that if we don't speak according to what we hear, we are like this disciple who does not know the Gotra he belongs. So in this note, I thank you all very much for giving me this time to speak with you. And what I have speak, I also learned from it, and I learned from you all. Thank you very much, Sadi Prabhu. Saigo Premanande.
Hare 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 Bo. Thank you so much. Well, for the benefit of the entire audience and the public, I would like to add to what Tribhvanath wonderfully, beautifully said, because some people may not understand what a Gotra or Gotra means, but Gotra simply means a clan or a lineage. So one who does not know the clan or the lineage that he belongs to. So that's what he was referring to. Thank you so much for your concluding words. And at this point, we're going to ask the devotees in a very humble manner to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciations to our revered speaker. And behind the chanting, we should also be praying that we get this association more and more. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sarvascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
All glories to His Grace, Tribhvanath Prabhu ki
Jai.
Jai.